All right, let's get this show on the road. Nice aluminum pot here. Good start. And here comes Heener Waddle's famous salt potatoes. In they go. And here's the salt packet. Yeah, everything. This is so easy to do. I mean, this all comes for $5 a bag. You get like about, is this 5 pounds? Yeah, you get 5 pounds of the right size potatoes. And it even comes with its very own bag of salt. And all we have to do is just that. Open this thing up, dump it into the pot. And from there, let me put this to the side. In fact, over to the sink. Don't want this cord to get all over the place. There we go. In we go. Good start. I've heard cold water is supposed to come to a boil faster than hot water. All I know is all we need to do is bring the water to a boil. We just enough to cover the potatoes. And the thing with these particular potatoes is we boil them uncovered. There we are. So back to the stove again. Where, as you can see, I have a couple of other things waiting as well. Right about here. And on goes the flame, nice gas flame. And the first step is on the way. Our salt potatoes are going to be done probably in about 45 minutes or so once they come to a boil and once they boil. All right, that means, hi there. Welcome everybody to Cast Iron Wednesday, which of course is a tradition that a number of YouTube cooking channels have been doing now for the past several years, including my channel, because we are in fact not only at about the 4th anniversary of doing these Cast Iron Wednesdays live here on this channel, and thank you very much for everybody who's been kind enough to show up, but also, as mentioned in the title of this video, this is as well my second anniversary, specifically my second anniversary as a resident of New York. Yes, whereas I made no secret of the fact that in 2022, I kind of packed up for personal reasons and moved to a new home here in mid-state New York, not too far from Binghamton, in fact. And this has really been an interesting past 2 years as well. Not only have I adjusted to, well, living out here in the middle of mid-state New York, as well as the many adventures that come from owning your own home. And yeah, that really could pretty much be a YouTube channel in itself. However, you folks here are here for the cast iron, because that, of course, is something I've had a lot of fun doing over the past 4 years and more. And I'm more than happy to do some celebrating with you tonight. That's why we are making a couple of New York dishes here tonight, starting with these salt potatoes, in fact, which is boiling in this huge aluminum pot, because I found aluminum to be the best water boiler in the world, or at least as far as my experience is concerned. And now Radagast. I always use cold water for cooking. Water out of a water heater could contain heavy metals. Check with your state board of health. Well, there is always that possibility. Nonetheless, so far I'm not dead yet. And hello to Rich Qualls watching from Southern California. Hello to RT Scott. Hello to Rick Stumbow and William Hurt and Fuzzfork8 and Cynthia Wesley. Hello to everybody. Hello to you folks have been kind enough to show up here on my channel. I don't know if anybody's shown up every for the past 4 years, but even so, I very much appreciate everybody who has been kind enough to drop by and watch as I fiddle around with cast iron in my kitchen and do my best to try to entertain you. Especially tonight, where, as I mentioned, we're celebrating the second anniversary here in my new home and my new kitchen. And we're doing this with a couple of New York dishes, including, besides the salt potatoes, as you can see, we have gotten out the Lodge cast iron deep fryer here, which I've been heating up so that we can make the other big New York dish, and that would be spiedies. I have talked about spiedies before, and in fact, last year in a cooking competition, a local cooking competition, I made spiedies. And yeah, this is one of those local treasures that I am very much glad to have discovered and, well, quite frankly, fallen in love with. And yes, all well, what's a little heavy metals between friends? Exactly, Ronald Coward. That's kind of like how I feel about that. Depends on the heater and the piping Radagast. But yes, so while these potatoes are getting up to a boil, the other thing I'm doing is heating up this big cast iron pot. And as I mentioned, I'm actually got a third dish that I'm preparing for. And for that, I'm taking out another special gift that I had received earlier this year, and I have not forgotten. Or was it last year? But nonetheless, here comes the Butter Pat cast iron pan. This one, of course, as I mentioned, was that one that I was absolutely shocked to receive as an unexpected gift, largely because it actually has my name on the pan. So yeah, you can definitely say that's something special here. But this is the pan that I'm going to be making some special cornbread in tonight because I figured it would go fine with the chicken and the potatoes. Besides, any excuse to make cornbread is a good excuse. And so that means in we go. And we start heating up the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's 400. I don't believe this particular recipe is 425. I should probably double check on my phone just to be safe. Let me bring up the recipe here. Oh, preheat oven to 425 degrees. Okay, then I'm wrong. Let's bring that up to 425. Bake 425. There we are. Start. Oh man, I could feel this heat already. This sure did not take long. In that case, I might even turn this down a little bit because it's going to be a few minutes before I can start frying. Because I've got to put together some spiedies. Fortunately, I don't know if this is the reason why they're called speedy, but they certainly are speedy to put together because it's very easy. It's really no more than marinated chicken on skewers. And so, fortunately, I've got a couple of skewers here. And here is the marinated chicken. The recipe for spiedies is very unique. As I mentioned, these are chicken pieces marinated in a very special kind of recipe, which is very easy to find. I mean, again, Binghamton spiedies are actually rather famous. These things have been marinating in a combination of olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, some white wine vinegar, and the green includes oregano, basil, and also mint leaves. So there's definitely something unique about these. I have them here in this bowl largely in case the bag breaks, more for safety's sake more than anything else. Anyway, all we need to do is to start sticking these things onto skewers, and so I should probably even maybe try to get more of this kind of a view. There we go. All right, let's start getting these things onto skewers here. And then after that, all we have to do is, again, fry them up. Or as a lot of people do, grill them up. But I don't have a grill available at this moment, I'm afraid. And besides, I love cooking in cast iron. So, hey, this is, again, as good an excuse as any to, well, just that, to fry up some spiedies. I've got like 4 pounds of chicken cubes here. And I'm definitely not going to be putting all of these on skewers. I mean, I'll be doing some spiedies tonight, especially since I actually have guests. But after I'm done with these spiedies here, I'm going to take the rest of the chicken and just pretty much dump them in the pan and stir fry all the rest of them until they're done. It is actually a little better to cook them in this way on the skewers. I think their proximity to each other might help them cook a little better or something. But nonetheless, that's one of the reasons why spiedies are made on skewers. There's one, and here comes two. And while we're doing this, I'm a fan of PVC for all new or replacement pipes. Yeah, that's something that blows up in auction. I'm a fan of PEX. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, I think there's a grill in the garage still in the box. You're probably right at this point. I'm going to have to double check and see if I didn't do anything with that. Anyway, as I said, it's only a matter. Of course, I'm getting this marinade all over my hands, but that's easy enough. I'll just wash it off. So, I have said a number of times I do not wash my chicken off anyway. However, I did, of course, prepare this chicken in advance. This thing has been marinating for close to a day in this particular marinade. So I'm not worried at all about contamination, especially since this is going to go into a hot cast iron pan and cook, well, until they're done. This is white meat, so I do have to keep track of the temperature, which means I will probably take these off the heat when they hit 160 degrees and put them up to rest. And once these things are grilled, all I have to do is put them on rolls. Spiedies are interesting in that generally they are supposed to be served as is without a sauce, believe it or not. However, I would have to say this marinade certainly does make the chicken tasty enough. I've made spiedies a number of times now, and yeah, that's why I'm more than happy to make them again, because these things are indeed darn good. Let me find some nice sized chicken pieces here. Okay, there's two, and the third and last one, and then we get going. So as you can see, this is really not taking very long, is it? That's one reason why I decided to do cornbread as well. In that all I have to do is wait for the potatoes to finish boiling. I just simply have to fry up these spiedies here. And so after that, we have cornbread. So this is actually going to be a nice, speedy dinner, too. And it's a good thing, too, because I think I better warn you folks as well. Tonight, something else unusual has happened. My home has been invaded by teenagers. Yes, indeed. There are three of them right now doing what teenagers do. Um, Let me correct that. Doing good stuff that teenagers do. I mean, believe me, I'm not worried at all about anything bad happening. But, well, that's one reason why I'm making three spiedies here so that they will be able to eat. Because teenagers, as you know, are bottomless pit eating machines. And fortunately, these are Binghamton teenagers, so they are quite familiar with spiedies. As such, I have little doubt that once these things are done, they will actually eat them. All right, PVC is okay. Yeah, it really don't get too cold here, but that 1 week of real cold causes so much expensive damage. Ooh, yeah, I know. You're still talking about the pipes, I guess. Well, nonetheless, so far my pipes have been doing fine, and I will just leave it at that. I mean, I've realized that there's always the potential, but I suppose if that happens, it's going to happen whether or not I talk about it. I do my best to prepare for it, but that's really all I'm doing tonight. Tonight we are celebrating with our spiedies, pre-cooked. All right. Other than that, hello as well to Cast Iron IRL with Honey Badger. Nice to see you here. And I do believe Huey is here tonight. Hog Wild Cast Iron Restorations, and he mentioned, yeah, he's been doing regular Cast Iron Wednesday celebrations as well. I'm busy washing my hands, And this marinade has a lot of olive oil in it. So I do have to actually wash my hands with soap, I'm afraid, to get the extra residue off. But I'm very much looking forward to having this all hit that hot iron, which is going to be doing in just a few seconds as soon as I dry off here. All right. All right. That means we can move over here. I think we might be able to even turn this up again after all. Move this light base it down a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. All right. Okay. Pizza. Oh, good. You had pizza tonight. Well, congratulations on that. We haven't eaten yet, but we will be after we're done here. That's for sure. Because here we go. Like I said before, this is the Lodge cast iron deep fryer, which they only made for about 10 years or so after they acquired this from Birmingham Stove and Range after BS&R went out of business. But right now, we are just busy using it to cook our spiedies. I will have to use tongs or something after this. There's one. There's two. Here is. Come on. Oh, this is interesting. All right. Try to move this around without burning myself. There's three. Okay. Maybe I should have used shorter skewers, I think. These things are always a learning experience. However, I had better dig out my tongs. There we go. Anyway, it's only a matter of cooking these things until they're done. As I said, there's a lot of olive oil in the marinade. That's one reason why I put this in the pan without oiling up the pan first. But yeah, now I am thinking that I probably should have used shorter skewers. Always something. But we'll get it done. All right. Ugg gloves. Oh, yeah, I took care of that already, Val. Let's just say that. So, with any luck, I don't expect to be interrupted by that. You need a sportsman grill so you can have a grill and still be cooking on cast iron. Yeah, you've got a point there, I think, Hog Wild. That's for sure. Slices of zucchini, summer squash, cherry tomatoes. Oh, yes, you're talking about some good old shish kebab. And they are certainly good, too. Although I am making a specific recipe here with this. That's one reason why all I did was put the meat on a stick. Once again, these are spiedies. And yeah, I will never forget the first time I tried a spiedie as well when I visited friends here in Binghamton. Come on, why is this not turning around? Okay, I think I am, like you said, and I have to get out a glove here. Okay. Anyway, my spiedie story was pretty simple. This was like maybe about 2015, I think. At that time, I was indeed visiting a friend who lived out here. Come on. There we go. Yeah, look at that color. Except that it keeps turning over, damn it. There. What the hell? Okay. Come on. There. Final. Oh, come on. It's turning over to one side. That one side is looking good, but I want both sides. See what I mean? What the hell, man? Good grief. Okay, let's do this slowly. Come on. Arrgh. Did I put these things on lopsided or something? There, at last. Good, that was not fun. That's one. Hopefully the next one's a little easier. Oh, the next one was much easier. Whoop. Because I stand corrected. There we go. The next one was much easier. Oh, yeah. There we go. Finally, the last one. Oh, yeah. Look at how these things are. Come on. Keep falling over onto one side. Damn it. At last. There's three. All right. Much better. That was a little more difficult to turn than I thought, but nonetheless, we've already got some color on these things, so we're not doing too badly here. Meanwhile, the potatoes are indeed just starting to reach the simmering point. So far, so good. Also in the back, way in the back here, I have a BSNR Lady Best skillet, which is melting. I can't even get a good angle on that either. Melting a little bit of butter, which is going to be used in the cornbread. I think just to be sure, I should probably turn that on to just the lowest heat so that that will more quickly melt that butter. Anyway, yeah, they're like cats. They always turn and land on their feet. Oh, I can see I'm not the only one here who has the problem turning these skewers over then, that's for sure. Anything on a skewer. Okay, well, that's good. I feel a little better now, knowing that this is certainly not the only, I'm not the only one doing that. In fact, let's even put the rest of this marinade on these. Why waste it? You know, kind of like basting it here. As I said, what I really need to do is just cook these things to 165, or 160 rather, at which point then I will be able to serve my guests. Hello, Caleb Mays. Caleb Mays. Hi, I'm new to cast iron. I've been told not to boil water in it. Is it not an issue of well-maintained season? Well, boiling water can indeed affect the seasoning on cast iron. If you do maintain the seasoning, yes, you can boil water in it. Essentially, it's like if you boil water in cast iron once in a while and use your pans on a regular basis, then that should maintain the seasoning and there should not be a problem. However, if you exclusively or do a lot of water boiling in cast iron, that will more likely take off the seasoning then, at which point then you'll start seeing some rust, unfortunately. So that's one reason why I kind of like bit the bullet and got this vintage aluminum pot. Also, this is a very attractive looking aluminum pot, and that's why I use these things especially for boiling water. You know, that would mean making pasta or potatoes, or pretty much anything else that requires a lot of water boiling. Yeah, might need toothpicks. Must have unplugged the smoke detector. Well, I'm not saying anything, Ronald Coward, because as you know, we're not supposed to do that. Yeah, we thrive on chaos. Yes, exactly. Smoke level increasing. Yes, it is. I'm certainly not disagreeing there either. Fortunately, in the other room, I also have a fan going, and I'm leaving it at that. I see things. I didn't notice it was aluminum over there. Yeah, as I mentioned, I found aluminum to be about the best water boiler in the world, and so that's why I actually do keep a couple of aluminum pots, especially that for making rice and pasta, again, and tomatoes, or not tomatoes, and potatoes. There we go. Let's see how this thing. Well, this thing seems to be turning over a little easier now. Hopefully, that means that the chicken is solidifying or becoming less rubbery, and hopefully more well cooked. So, let's put this down. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, this is definitely getting some color on, that's for sure. And did it disappear again? Yep, this one turned over again. How hard is it to just keep this on one side? Finally, this one. All right. Okay, there we go. So far, so good. I don't suppose these things have already reached 160. It wouldn't be absolutely surprising, though, I will say that. After all, they are small pieces of chicken here. So considering that, I'd better break out the thermometer. See what we have here. 149, 147, nice. This one here, 130, 127. Okay, so that's good. From the looks of that, I'd say these things might be done in maybe a couple of minutes or so. All right, well, that's good to know. chicken should be 165 degrees minimum, yes. But the thing is that if you let it rest, the carryover cooking will take the temperature up. It's there have been official studies that have demonstrated that yes, bacteria is killed instantly at 165 degrees. That's true. But if you let the chicken rest for just a few minutes or so, you can apparently cook it as low as 150 degrees and let it rest to kill the bacteria off. That's one reason why when I do my cooking of poultry, I tend to compromise and go anywhere from 155 to 160. That's how I'm going to be doing. That's how I do my Thanksgiving turkey, for instance. Oh yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I got a vintage MACI, I think, aluminum butt Dutch. Well, that sounds good, Rick, and I can certainly hope you get some use to it. So, get some use out of it. That is, I got an ancient aluminum spider with lid. And I need to get it cleaned up. Oh, that sounds nice, but good luck cleaning it up. I will say that. So I've got yeah. I mean, I've still been trying to clean up this aluminum pot as well. It has some residual stains on it that I have not yet been able to get rid of, even now. But I'm still working on it. All right, turn this over one last time, or attempt to turn it over one last time. Because, yeah, this thing's definitely getting some color on the other side, that's for sure. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now for the next one. Whatever. Okay, let's get this over here. And yeah, as I said, after these spiedies are done, I'm just going to dump the rest of the meat in the pot and do some good old stir frying anyway. Somehow I'm thinking I might even rotate these because this one just does not look like it's browning the way these others are. There we go. I might be wrong. All right. I bought 2 Dolly guitars, a large Made in America skillet. Oh yeah, I'd seen those when they released them for the Dolly series. It's true. They re-released the guitar skillet and dedicated it to Dolly. But when they first released the guitar skillet, if I remember right, I believe they dedicated it to Elvis. Is this going to burst into flames? Well, I certainly hope not, Anthony. That's for sure. Hypo. It's a Mako. Oh, okay. I'm not as knowledgeable about cast aluminum anyway. So, all right. So far, so good. It does look like the potatoes are just beginning to boil. I'm thinking, meanwhile, the cornbread is probably close to done already. Smoke is making me cough. Yeah, I can't say I blame you on that. All right. I'd say what I will do is get these spiedies out. And then once I get those onto plates, we will then prepare some cornbread. And then I will, oops, yeah, the butter is definitely done. There we go. We will prepare some cornbread and then cook the rest of the chicken. All right. Ooh, even a wooden handle is hot. Got to get my gloves one more time. There we go. We have melted butter here in the Lady Best skillet. I hope I didn't overdo it on the butter too. Okay, let's put that over here. You folks are just in time. Are you leaving? I'm thinking that they left already. Great. Oh, well. Well, that means I can put these things onto plates. Okay, that also means I better get some plates here. Fortunately, somewhere over here. Here we are. A couple of plates. Let's get these out. All right. We can move this over. Move our view over to here. And move this over to here, where okay, just rinse off this dish here. There we go. So far, so good. And here comes the spiedies. Actually, I think you folks want to see me take out the spiedies. I'd like to know how I'm going to take out these spiedies. Get my glove one more time. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. That wasn't so hard. Head over here, and I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit on the pot, because I do have more cooking to do in that. I know I'm worse. Yes, exactly. My peppercorn kitty is giving the chat her seal of approval. Well, thank you very much, Val. I melt the butter for the recipe in the skillet I'm using for the cornbread, and I've never had it stick. That's a nice plan, that's for sure. All right. Anyway, all we do when we prepare spiedies, move this over. Come on, try to get a good view here. There we go. All we have to do when we prepare spiedies is take out a couple of rolls. And yeah, I have found out as well, traditionally, spiedies, in fact, are served on Italian bread, just flatted pieces of Italian bread, except nobody does that these days, I found out. They just use rolls. I guess probably because they are much more convenient. And in a way, they certainly are, too. Because thanks to this, that means, okay, this is still hot. Got to put the glove back on. All we have to do, skewer into the bread and pull. Come on, there we go. Got it. Haha. Here is one spiedie. Do this again. In fact, let's give you another view of that. And we will do it again. Just put it into the bread. Twist, squeeze, and pull. All right. In fact, one little piece came out. Oh, gee. That means I might just have to eat this little piece. Mm-hmm. I can taste it all right. But here we are. This is a Binghamton spiedie. If you go to Philadelphia, you have a hoagie. If you go to Boston, you have clam chowder. And if you go to Binghamton, you have a spiedie. So far, so good. And these will be ready when my guests return, because they went out, of course, for a few minutes. You could hold back the chicken with a fork so you don't crush the roll. I didn't even think of that, and you're exactly right. I could have done that. Nonetheless, we have it now. All right. So I will return to the chicken in a moment or so. But for the record, the potatoes are boiling nicely now. So yeah, these potatoes should probably be done, I would guess, maybe in about another 20 minutes at the most. So things are doing pretty good. These dishes here are pretty easy to prepare, aren't they? Well, having done that, let's move these things aside here best as I can. We'll put this over here. and put this over here. And then we have to deal with dish number 3, cornbread. Oh, and I don't want to pull this camera out again. Oh yeah, I remember the last time I accidentally unplugged the camera. Pork the potatoes, they may finish quickly. I could always turn it down a little bit. The thing about salt potatoes is you don't want to puncture the skins because there's a ton of salt in that water. And if you puncture the skins, it will get into the potatoes and make them too salty. You want a crust of salt on the outside only. So now that we've done that, though, move this over a little bit. And fortunately, I have already prepared the dry mix for this cornbread. And in fact, looks like I used some of that blue cornmeal mix. You remember a couple of months ago when we made blue cornmeal? Well, I realized that I still have a fair amount of it left. So I figured now would be a nice time to do it. All right, just for the record, I think I better pull that out again. In fact, what this is masa harina, blue, in fact. Like it says here, blue corn masa flour. So yeah, that means I don't know if this is going to give nice blue cornbread the way the others did, but it should actually be an interesting color to it. All right. Do you guys stay in touch with me after? Oh, well, I don't know, but oh, I see what you mean. Yes, actually, they are. Yeah, one of them is a friend. Is the daughter of one of my close friends. So, in fact, I see them on an almost daily basis. It's only that they're teenagers. You know, they like to run around and do whatever. So, yeah, I should know. I was a teenager once, far too long ago. All right. Now that we've done all that, as I said, we've got the dry ingredients for this cornmeal mix, for this cornbread mix already. I had mixed in the cornmeal, baking powder, sugar, yes, sugar, and a little bit of kosher salt. So now it's time to dig out 1 cup of buttermilk coming up. 1 cup of buttermilk. Is it 1? I really hope I didn't get the recipe wrong. Thinking it over, I think that's right. Okay, 1 cup of buttermilk. From here, it also mentions an egg, but when I made that large cornbread mix the other, what is it? Just after the cornbread festival, I made Lodge's cornbread mix, and that called for 2 eggs. And I have to say, I like the consistency that it came up with. So, and besides, I'm low on eggs anyway. I have only 2 eggs left. So let's make this with 2 eggs. All right. So here's 1. Carefully. And the other. Actually, I just realized at this point, I better stop what I'm doing because there's one other thing I have to do. And that is put oil in the pan and let that heat up for a few minutes. So that means I have to interrupt that step. Get this out because this is a hot cast iron pan coming up. And get ready for the other step. That means, one more time, get out my glove. I have some corn oil already, fortunately. All right, let's get this out of the oven. It's all heated up. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Damn it, I put that in backwards. Here again is the butter pat cast iron skillet, which, as you can see, is smoking hot. Pour in a little bit of corn oil. That's probably enough, maybe a wee bit more. All right, because we don't need to drown it, but we do need to cover the sides as best as we can. Now that we've done that, let's get this back in the oven. Oh, damn, it's already starting to hurt my fingers. Wow. Okay, let's get out another glove. Get this back in the oven as quickly as we can. And above all, I don't want to spill this thing. So let's do this fast. Now we continue with the cornbread. Put this trivet back aside and back to the cornbread. All right, so far, we're almost done with the cornbread too. So far, we have buttermilk, we have eggs. All that we have left is the melted butter and some whole milk. So let's start mixing it up right now, shall we? Because we already have buttermilk and eggs in this thing. And every time I stir like this, I always get it all over the place. All right, spread it all out. Spread it out. Buttermilk and eggs combined with the ingredients here. All right, now that we've done that, now we get to add in our melted butter. Cool down a little bit. I can hold this wooden handle again. Melted butter. Half a stick of melted butter, in fact. That's 4 tablespoons. And the real trick of getting it to the right consistency is at this point, I've got to start adding in milk. And that this is not a bad consistency already, but it's definitely not what we want for cornbread. So here's where I break out the milk. Let's get this cardboard thing away from the stove. All right. Milk. Start dash at a time. And start mixing it up. Making this cornbread recipe, I find it actually seems to work a little better for me when I use a spatula rather than a whisk. Actually, that's given it a nice consistency already. We're not quite there, but I may only need another dash, maybe 2 of the milk. So that was faster than I thought. This thing's got a nice purplish kind of color to it, doesn't it? Again, that's because I'm using the blue cornmeal mix. So I'm definitely, oh yeah, the blue cornmeal and blue corn, by the way, is a little bit sweeter than yellow corn. That's one reason why as well I'm making a sweet cornbread with sugar. Now, this is pretty good. Not sure if we're at quite the right consistency, but we're close. However, there's one more thing I want to mix in. Honey. I've had this sampler of honey for a while, so here again is a good excuse to use it. Yeah, a little baby bear of honey. It's amusing that these honey containers are always shaped like bears. You'd think that they should be shaped like bees or something. Yeah, I know, bears eat honey. It's definitely plenty of honey, that's for sure. This is going to be a nice, sweet cornbread. There we go. And I'm quite happy to be able to use this honey sampler too. All right, let's mix that all up. Maybe one more dash of milk, and then I think we will be ready to get this into the oven. I'm debating whether I should turn it down to 400 or not. I don't want it to burn. Yeah, just a little, one more dash of milk, and that'll probably be enough. Mix out the sides. Yeah, this is a pretty good consistency. I'd say we are ready for the oven, which means I can put this milk away. Apologize, I haven't been following the comments here. I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah, 30, no, 20 bucks and 4 packs of snacks was in submarine school in Groton, Connecticut. Broke sailor had to do something. Yeah. Okay, I'll catch up with this in a moment as soon as this goes into the oven, which is going to happen any moment. Because by then it should be ready almost for these potatoes. Um, Maybe another few minutes on the potatoes, and that should be it. But there we are. Here comes our trivet again, which means I get to burn my hands again. In fact, I think I'll dig out yet another glove. Fortunately, I have these silicone things. All right, let's try one more time with that pan. Carefully. Don't want to drop it either. Yeah, this is hot. Wow. Holy cow, is this ever hot? There we go. Got a good grip on it now. All right. Yay for the silicone glove, that's for sure. All right. Now that we've done that, here comes the crucial part of making cornbread, the sizzle. So we start with this. Mix it all together. Move this over very slightly, carefully. And in goes the batter. Well, this thing is sizzling all right, that's for sure. Yum, yum. Nice purple cornbread, isn't that nice? Looking forward to this, though. There we go. So far, so good. Yay for the butter pat pan, which means now, one more time, let's dig out these silicone gloves. There were two of them. Where did I put the other one? I seem to have misplaced the other silicone glove already. Oh, you dunce. Where did you put it? It's over here. Okay, at last. Now, back to the oven, because you want to see the action. All right. 1, 2. Careful. 3. Oh, man. There we go. Got it. Haha. Okay. Means in about 25 minutes or so, we will have cornbread. All right. And at this point, we're likely done with the potatoes. These things have been boiling nicely. I've got a nice coating of salt around the side. I do believe my guests are back. All right. If you're here, come and eat. I've made spiedies, chicken sandwiches. Are you by yourself? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Are you by yourself? Is nobody else with you? No? Okay. Well, here, come and have a sandwich. You're not on camera, I promise. The camera is pointing at the stove. All right. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I'm down to one guest, so I will be driving her home a little later. Okay. I think dark honey is the best. True that, Radagast. Yeah, celebration, no stick again. Oh yeah, that's what I hope. I like to hear the sizzle, and I like the crust it makes. Yes, that stuff, that cornbread definitely sizzled. That's for sure. Keeping an eye on the taters. Well, thank you very much, Val's Black Cat Rules. Really like the potato bubble. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've already told the story of this aluminum pot that I'm still working to get this thing clean. The potatoes are going to stain the pot black as well, but I found that it's very easy to clean off. I mean, just Barkeeper's Friend does a wonderful job of that. So let me catch up on a couple of comments. Then we will take this out. The potatoes out, that is. So let's go a little further back here. You could hold back the chicken with a fork so you don't crush the roll. Yes, and I'm gonna have to remember that next time. Does your guest stay in touch? I always add an extra egg to hold it together better. Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm thinking I should really permanently change my recipe from one egg to two eggs. That's for sure. I had people like them until I stopped giving them, then I never seen them again. What a surprise there. If you ever use bacon grease in your cornbread, you will never use corn oil again. Well, that's really a matter of taste, in that at first I was using lard and bacon grease in my cornbread, and it tended to burn and blacken the bottom of it. Then I started using corn oil, and I've had a much better result. So that's just my personal experience. Either stuffed or starved. The summer heat probably got to me this year. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Brian Gilcrease. All right. Love latkes. Oh, yeah. I like latkes too. You know the rule, family, if you first. Oh, yeah. Okay, I won't even get into that. Hello, Kimberly Miller. Nice to see you here tonight. And likewise, worst thing I ever ate was a pickled lamb tongue. No Radagast. I couldn't get over the ammonia smell. Ooch, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. 20 bucks and okay, yeah, I tried cow tongue once. Yeah, exactly. Well, so far the time I tried cow, it was too fatty. I'm sorry, tongue, it was too fatty. I'll just have to try it again, I'm afraid. Can find okay, so much crap coming from China. Well, I don't believe this honey came from China. Here in New York, we seem to have a lot of local honey, I'm glad to say. All right. Do believe we are about ready at this point to take out the potatoes, which means I'm gonna actually have to melt more butter to go with those potatoes. That sounds like a plan. So that means I get to turn this off, move this back over to the sink again, try not to trip over the cord. Like I said, I learned that lesson with the cord last time. In fact, I think I'll move over this way, in fact, and carefully step over the cord. All right. And here, oh, yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? For me to actually put a colander to catch those potatoes. There, and move that to the side too. Okay, now we're ready. And here come our salt potatoes. Now back to the oven where I have turned off the heat. Careful, do not want to pull this. Oh, damn it, tripped. Please, okay, good. Did not pull the cord out this time. Ugh. At least I hope it didn't. No, it looks like we're still live. Okay, that was fun. I'm a klutz. All right, having done that, let us get these potatoes back into the pot. Here's the trick now. The residual heat dries off the potatoes, and then the potatoes will have the coating of salt that you really want. All right. Billy Lee was on a roll just tonight too. Asked if he was okay. All right. Now, having done that, there's one other thing. The last thing we need to start doing, and that is to heat this pot back up. Because at this point, while the potatoes are drying off, as you can see, they're hot, but not hot enough to burn, at least. Time to turn our attention back to the large cast iron. Yes, at last we're looking at cast iron again. Although we did look at cast iron as well for the cornbread. Okay, we're going to get this thing nice and hot again. And then we will take care of the rest of the chicken. Oh, yeah. Well, this chicken's definitely something, that's for sure. Holy cow. All right. Because I still have more chicken that I need to cook. And rather than cook them a skewer at a time, I'm going to put them all in the pot when this thing gets good and hot again, which should only take a couple of minutes. And then we will cook the rest of it. And not bad, especially since we are getting on to almost an hour here. I figure that chicken should hopefully be done just in time. Use your wok. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility as well, too. Of course, we already have this pot here has already been used and it's already dirty. So, so that's what I really like. I won't have to. I mean, I've got enough cleaning up to do tonight anyway. I've got this big pot and two cast iron pieces. Actually, 3 cast iron pieces. Speaking of which, I should consider more butter for the salt potatoes. Teresa Reed, elder water. Oh, boulder water. What's that say? Box elder water to sugar ratio is about double than maple trees. So it's more labor intensive hauling and boiling, but I prefer the taste. It's not as sharp as maple syrup. Oh, I see. You're talking about making a type of syrup then. That all sounds pretty good. Hey. I think we're just beginning to see a little bit of smoke coming out of these, but it's not quite hot enough yet. Give me just another minute or so and we'll probably be ready to put the chicken in. At which point then all I have to do is, as I said, start stir frying until this chicken is done. Shred your leftover potatoes tomorrow and make hash browns. Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to that. Now we're starting to get some smoke from this pot. So now we are starting to get to the point. In fact, the residue from cooking the last one is actually starting to snap, crackle, and pop a little bit. So I'd say we are ready to throw in the chicken. All right. That means let's get going. There's a lot of oil in this too. In fact, maybe even too much oil. So how am I going to do this? I think I'm actually going to have to. Actually, I think I'm going to have to strain this chicken. Let's see how to do this. Oh, I have an idea. I'm going to use these bowls that I already used. Move over to here. There's something I had not considered as usual. As I said, and here's that other pan. But you see, oh, damn it. All right. These bags of marinating chicken have a lot of oil in them, maybe too much. So I'm going to have to strain out the oil. The best way I can think of to do that, I don't want to spill this, is to use the strainer, the one that we use for the potatoes. There we go. Put the rest of the chicken in. There's 1. Actually, let's make sure we get as much of this as possible. And here's 2. All right, there we go. Yeah, as I said, this chicken's been marinating all day, so definitely there's plenty. It's infused with plenty of oil as it is. That's why I'm just simply going to throw it into the pot, and there's really no need to add more oil to it. Speaking of which, the pot is now definitely smoking. So that means, without further ado, let's start tossing in the chicken. Oh yeah, this thing definitely some extra oil, that's for sure. Boy, this thing's searing pretty fast too. Look at this. Barely a few seconds and we're already getting some searing in. I like this. Let's get the rest of it. This is not taking very long. Of course, we've got to make sure the chicken is thoroughly cooked. And I hope I haven't crowded the pan now. But oh yeah. Yay for a nice hot cast iron pan. This sure hasn't taken long, has it? I'll just keep doing this until the chicken is done. And the thing is, when I stir fry chicken pieces, my rule of thumb is generally when the chicken stops being rubbery and you can cut a piece of it in half with a spatula and it's done on the inside, then the chicken is done. Of course, we've only just started, but this is already not looking too bad if you ask me. So far, so good. Also, I better remember the cornbread. Cornbread, I think we can check on in probably about another 10 minutes. So it's 9:03 now. All right. In fact, this is already at the point, I think, where we can spread this out. And go from there. All right, where'd my mouse go? Here it is. Okay. Thinking I have a 2-quart saucepan. That's small 3. 2 of the little squares. Might have one more, but not sure. Oh, you must be talking about BSR or Lodge, I guess. Their saucepans seem to be almost identical, don't they? It's called a Sportsman fish fryer. Yes, that's exactly what this is. This is a Sportsman deep fryer, in fact, a deep fish fryer. Please give a shout out to Papa and Cindy in case they're listening. Hello to Papa Dan, as Rick Stumbow noted. But yes, this is in fact the Sportsman deep fryer, originally designed by Birmingham Stove and Range and used in their Sportsman grill for a few decades, somewhere around from the late 1930s, I believe, to the all the way up to the 1980s until 1990s when Birmingham Stove and Range went out of business. To settle their debt to Lodge Cast Iron, as Lodge, they had run into a contract with Lodge for their last couple of years. To settle their debt with Lodge Cast Iron, they passed on the designs of several of their pans to Lodge, including the Sportsman grill, which Lodge has gotten a lot of use out of it. This was in 1993. Lodge began producing the Sportsman grill. I'm not sure if it was immediately in 1993 or maybe 1994, but they produced it. They continued producing the Sportsman grill and never stopped because the Sportsman grill has been very popular, even to the point where Lodge redesigned it a couple of years ago. The deep fryer, on the other hand, Lodge produced until I believe it was 2002, and then they discontinued it and have never made it again. Lodge never made the shallow fish fryer. As I understand it, all of the shallow fryers were from BS&R. Anyway, but yes, they made this fish fryer here, and frankly, the even though Lodge discontinued this fryer, the deep fryer here, this design was very popular to the point where a number of other companies have since put out their own so-called oval roasters, which is essentially the same thing. Looks like the chicken's released its own liquid here, so as a result, it's not frying as much. I could keep going until the liquid reduces, I guess, which is probably the best thing to do. I have time. Although there's not a lot of water in this. I mean, I had made this mostly with olive oil, red wine vinegar, and a little bit of lemon juice. Lemon juice. Oh no. Yes, lemon juice. I'm not worried about it. It's diluted enough that I don't believe it's going to eat away the seasoning. However, as I said, because there's really very little water in this, I really don't know how much this is going to reduce. The rest of it, of course, is chicken liquid. Maybe that's the part that could reduce. But anyway, yes, as I said, Lodge discontinued this fish fryer in about 2002. Other companies have since come out with their own versions of their so-called oval roaster. All Asian companies, because there are no major American cast iron manufacturers today other than Lodge. But we have seen this from Bayou Classic. We have seen this from Camp Chef. Camp Chef made Cabela's house brand. And we have seen the Cabela's Fit Oval Roaster. Best I could say is it is a very useful cast iron pan. And if you have a chance to acquire one of these and you feel like you could get use out of it, I would certainly encourage you to do so. If you get a vintage one, that's even better. Oh yeah, these things are definitely releasing a lot of liquid. There's definitely much more liquid here than there was previously. I guess I am going to have to drain this carefully. So, let's dig this thing out. There we go. So that way, if I make a mishap, you'll be able to see it live. Means I can get these silicone gloves. No, they won't slip, not at all. And carefully. Oh yeah, great. Of course, I'm covering the camera as I do this. What else is new? Let's move it over this way, shall we? Come on, you bugger. There we go. Got it. All right, that's better. Wow. Now, good thing I used that colander so that way I can drain the rest of the chicken. Put that back in the pot. There we go. Okay, as we were, it does look like even now the chicken may be releasing more liquid. But there's definitely less liquid now than there was a moment ago. Hopefully this liquid will just evaporate. Anyway, it's really just a matter of cooking this chicken until it's done. All right. Back in the 70s, my father used to fire out the hibachi on the beach. How heavy is that? This thing is pretty darn heavy. I don't know the actual weight of this thing. I would have to guess at least 10 pounds, though. This is one heavy hunk of iron, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely less liquid now, so I think we're not doing too badly. Hopefully we can get a little bit more searing in. before this is done. Everything in Corey's yard, I'd be like, Corey, who? My silicone glove is my bestest friend, yes, and I can certainly agree with you there, that's for sure. I have the Corey grill. I have the Sportsman grill, the Sportsman Pro, and the Kickoff grill. Oh, I can see somebody's got cast ironitis. Not that I'm saying who, mind you. All right, another piece of chicken here. Chicken is pretty darn good. Are all kitchen fire extinguishers charged with halon gas? I would think they are because they are designed especially for grease fires. Corey, if you could have one, which would you choose? Hard to say. Yeah, the Sportsman Pro, actually, there are a couple of good things about the Sportsman Pro. I have to say that. I mean, there are some people who are just sticklers for the old design and say, why should you ever change it? In fact, there were some flaws in the original Sportsman grill, I have to admit. Some flaws that Lodge took the time to take care of. Like, for instance, that little drawbridge, that little coal door that you could open and close, that little coal door that always got lost or broken. Likewise with the draft door that was very easy to lose. Yeah, Lodge made sure that there are no loose parts like that. Probably the one big disadvantage of the Sportsman Pro grill is the fact that it does not sit flat on rough ground. It sits on rails and it tends to wobble. But there are ways around that. Now I think we're even getting to the point where I can put a little bit of liquid back into this pan. Only a little bit, but still. Yeah, this thing definitely released a lot of liquid, but I think I can use just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. That way the chicken won't dry out. Definitely shrinking though. So I'd say we're getting close to the point where this chicken is going to be done. Meanwhile, oh crap, the cornbread. Okay, time to change direction one more time and hope that I did not burn the cornbread. Let's get this out of the oven. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Check this out, folks. Holy cow. Oh, I'll be danged. Check this out. Blue cornbread, no less. I think I may have gotten it out in just the nick of time. Wow. This calls for a picture. This thing is still blazing hot. Let me put my glove back on. Let's move this around a little bit. Dig out my phone and take a photo or two. Frankly, I'm liking this. So I better stir the chicken a little bit. The chicken looks like it's almost done too. I do believe we're starting to approach the right point. However, now that we've done this, we've got to do what we need to do with that cornbread. Keep it from burning, and that is get it out of that hot cast iron pan. So, fortunately, I have already taken my photos. So if I ruin it, at least I'll have these photos. Gotta have something here. Let's dig out a knife, butter knife. Here we are. Okay. Meanwhile, that chicken there is definitely sizzling nicely. Let me turn that chicken one more time. So the chicken's probably done too. All right. Let's get this going. Well, that's also a good sign. Here's hoping we have it. All right, I've done this enough times, folks, and you get to see it yet again. My attempt at flipping something out of the pan. You saw that with that cake the other day, right? Well, here we go again. Another glove. Here we are. Okay, 2 gloves. Hold it tight. Am I holding on to it? Okay, good. And bam. Ah, there it goes again. Oh. Well, I almost, okay. Now, how do we get this off? How do I get this off without ruining it? Oh, there's a good sign. Oh, wow. Okay, let me get my glove quickly. Yeah, in fact, I think I just, there we go. I think I just barely avoided burning it, in fact. Also, remember, this is blue cornbread, but look at this, folks. Oh, yeah. I do believe we have it. And by the way, there was no sticking. Look at this. Haha. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to keep 2 eggs in that recipe from now on. Man, I don't know if I should say impressed, but I'm happy with the results. All right, one last plate. Flip this over, and bam, at long last. Blue cornbread. Haha. And now finally, one last time, let's get back here. And this chicken, I would say, is likely done too. There we go. The chicken is finally not just done, it's actually got some charring on it. So I think we're good here too. All right, turn this off. Oh. That means after all that, I gotta get this chicken out of the pan now before it burns. Oh, I'm using so many dishes here tonight. Well, this is my own choice. Okay, fortunately, since I'm taking it to friends, I'll get it into this container. There we go. Whop. 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 All right. So far, so good. That means I do believe we are all set. We have our chicken spiedies. We have our salt potatoes. And incredibly enough, we even have cornbread. Here's our chicken spiedie. And yeah, I'll try one last tiny piece of it. Mm-hmm. I think we're good there. Here again are the salt potatoes with this white coating of salt here on the outside. So these things also work out well. And finally, cornbread. You know, I do believe we have it. Oh, man. All right, let's check with these comments here. Meanwhile, one last time. Now let's keep looking here. Okay. So far, so good. Who did the dishes? I'm the one who does the dishes. I live by myself. I'm going to have to clean up all these dishes, that's for sure. But nonetheless, we have it. We did our spiedies, we did our salt potatoes, and we did our cornbread. And incredibly, it all seems to have turned out okay. Yeah. Fortunately, I'm taking it to a small army tonight. Teenagers. So, yeah, this is all definitely going to be gone. So there's no worries about that. Flour burns very well and have been known to explode. Oh, yes, I've seen that as well. That's not burned, nice crunch bottom. Yes, I do believe I'd say we probably got this cornbread out at exactly the right moment. So far, so good. In fact, I can even turn off the oven. And with that, that part is done. All right. Seems to me that I read somewhere that Ford was responsible for making the modern charcoal briquettes. That's yet another thing to look up, I think. There's so much history in food there, isn't there? I have the kickoff grill and the sportsman grill. Both are awesome, but I recommend having a camp table to enjoy them both regularly. Yes, exactly. The original sportsman grill can be done on rough ground. The new ones can't. That's for sure. No matter what, don't throw water in a grease fire. Yes, exactly. You never, 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 never throw water in a grease fire. You're absolutely right about that. No joking at all about that. That is not just dangerous, it is absolutely deadly. All right. Walmart copy of the Yeti. Oh, that's interesting. Walmart's making their own copies of the Sportsman Grill. I wouldn't be too surprised. I have two Sportsman Grills. Okay. Your taking system goes off. All right. You can't buy the Sportsman Grill, but you can order the parts to build one. Yeah, apparently Lodge still has some of the parts available from the original Sportsman Grill. I don't know when they'll discontinue them. I'm sure they will discontinue them someday, but apparently not yet. I don't have the Provo. I have a Sportsman kickoff and the Cook It All. The old Sportsman is my favorite. The cold door makes it easy to put coals in mid cook. I'm undecided between silicone gloves or short sleeve Teflon. I should do a slip test. Yes, I would definitely say test it and see which one suits you best. All right, okay. And having said all that, oh, there we go. Nobody can earn their keep cleaning my irons. Yes, exactly. As I said, I've got some cleaning to do, and that's definitely going to be my chore tomorrow, Thursday. Also, tomorrow, I need to clean up the. I also need to mow the lawn. I'm really running behind on that, unfortunately. Partly because it's been so rainy, and partly because I've been so busy. But let's get the rest of this chicken in here as well, so that I don't eat it. And then at last, you believe we will be all set. Because once again, we have everything we set out to do. We have our spiedies. Yeah, the spiedies on the skewer, as you can see, definitely there's a change in color and consistency. So I think putting it on the skewers is probably better. However, I wanted to get all the rest of this done, and there's definitely taste to it too. So I don't think there'll be any problem there. And the salt potatoes. Oh yeah, they're really gonna enjoy these salt potatoes, that's for sure. And finally, last thing was again the cornbread. I have to say, I think this actually turned out to be a thing of beauty. I mean, check this out, folks. So yeah, this is all something definitely we're all gonna be looking forward to having. And having said that, you know, I do believe we are just about all set here at this point. You can get a sheep into the lawn, short grass, short grass and lamb chops. Oh, there you go. I could probably never do that to a sheep, but I would definitely go with the short grass. That's for sure. Yes, good night, Rick Stumbauer. We are definitely at that time here. So once again, I can only thank everybody who's been kind enough to show up here because, as I said, I do believe we've done everything we've set out to do tonight. And so, what better way is there to celebrate 2 years in my new home? Oh, it's been 2 years. I moved here in August of 2022 in the midst of some of the worst drama of my life, which I haven't told you folks about because I keep my drama private. Nonetheless, the good part is, as you know, you've all been here. That's the thing. You've all been here as I got used to this new kitchen with this gas stove and setting up my cast iron here and really having a lot of fun too. It's certainly been a very enjoyable past couple of years, and I certainly hope that there are quite a few years yet to come here in this home because I'm certainly looking forward to it. Not just the gas stove and the cast iron, but everything else, and also the companionship, and especially you folks here. I mean, that's because really, that's the reason why, as I say every week, the reason why I keep doing this every week is largely because of you folks. Because having you folks here really makes this YouTube live experience quite a lot of fun. I mean, I like being able to talk with you or do whatever I do while I'm doing this live. I find the live experience to be very exhilarating. So having you folks here to make comments and snarky comments and point out my mistakes, which happen every week, I'm more than happy to share that as well. And so, but that's why especially I do my best to entertain all you folks, and I can only hope I've done so, which I guess must be why folks keep showing up here every week. Let me move this Google Chrome update here out of the way. And I can only say congratulations to you as well to Teresa Reed and Kimberly Miller. Well, Kimberly Miller, well, you're definitely here tonight, and so thank you very much for being here. And thank you as well to Rob B. and Calamity Jane, Bell's Black Cats Rules, and Corey Clark and Greg Hart, Radicast, and Rocket Caver. Well, thank you very much for enjoying Cast Iron Wednesday because we're certainly going to keep going. I mean, there always seems to be something new to do here, and then that's another reason why I've loved doing these live videos because after all, we have next week to look forward to, and I'll see what happens next week because well, we're all going to do this all over again. So I can only ask everybody, keep safe. We are in the middle of August, but things are starting to change. We're starting to see. Oh, before I forget, I posted this on my Facebook. Go check out TJ Maxx and Home Goods because they've got their Halloween stuff out. And you know what TJ Maxx is doing this year? They're doing a cast iron cauldron. A cast iron pot that actually looks like a cauldron. It looks like a South African poiki. And it's there at TJ Maxx and Home Goods. Take a look and see what you think. It's not an especially large one. I would guess it's maybe about 3 to 4 quarts in size. But if you head out there and you're interested, take a look. The other thing they have there at TJ Maxx now is a coffin, yes, coffin-shaped Halloween baking dish. It's got a skeleton on the top and everything. It's shaped like a coffin. That's also not especially large. It looks like it's about maybe the size of a loaf pan. But those are 2 cast iron pans. They're made in Asia. They're made by a company called Smith and Clark. No, actually, they're not the makers of it. They just simply contract with a manufacturer to supply these to TJ Maxx. But that's how it goes. I have a Smith and Clark cast iron pan myself, in fact. Let me get that for you very, very quickly. Because almost done. Okay, because when you see this, you will certainly remember it. I'm talking to my folks on my microphone. because you remember this, folks? Do this right. You remember this, folks? The USA shaped cast iron skillet. Well, this in fact is by Smith and Clark, the same company that supplies this to Home Goods and TJ Maxx. They're the same ones who are supplying these new cast iron pans now to TJ Maxx. So if you're interested, I am not ordering you to go there because, oh, it's Asian made. I never buy Asian made. Okay, that's your choice. No problem with that. But if you're interested, you might be able to find a genuine cast iron cauldron big enough to cook in there at TJ Maxx. So that's something to consider. All right, and having said all that, Now I do believe it's finally time to get ready for next week, or get ready for the rest of this week. Because I've got a lot to do, and I'm sure you folks do too. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching Hog Wild Cast Iron Restoration and Val's Black Cat's Rules. And everybody, thank you very much for watching, and we'll do this all once again next week. So until then, see you next Wednesday.